Welcome to Diceborn. This is the 17th Shard series where we're playing a campaign of the Mistborn Adventure Game. I'm Ben, playing Dervish, and joining me is Ian.
Hey, I play Royce Hadriel.
And Grace.
Hey, I play Marelyn Ramali.
Rosemary.
Hello, everyone. I play Hallie de Pazel.
And Matt.
Hey, I'm Luka Ilariel in Diceborn.
And our wonderful narrator for this game, Natasha.
Your illustrious Lord Roller.
So this is episode 12 of Mistborn Adventure Game, of our Mistborn Adventure Game series of Diceborn. And we've had this slated as the final episode for quite a few months. We just wanted to cut it. This is where we wanted to hit because it would be ending, because the Lost Medal comes out. When this episode airs, I think the Lost Medal comes out in a week. And so we wanted to get things over and done with for that to happen. And however, we have quite a lot of things to resolve. And so we have this session going, and we pretty much won't know until the end of this episode whether this is the last episode or not. There may be one more. So we're just gonna play through this episode and see how things go.
Potential two-part finale.
Potential two-part finale.
13 is just such a nice number.
It is a lovely number to end
nice
on.
and round.
It is a standard half season of TV.
There you go.
If you have a mid-season debut, there are 13 episodes.
But what if we timed it so that there's a revelation in Lost Medal, and then the week after it comes up in our final Diceborn episode?
I don't think that'll work.
No.
Yeah.
Very difficult. Very difficult.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Given that not everyone in this group is a beta reader, I don't think that's going to work.
I really wanted to make a joke, but this is so not the right. This is people here I can't make that joke in front of. I know, terrible. Okay, so for today's episode, though, I am going to hand this over quickly to Giveaway Ben for the final giveaway of Diceborn, potentially, because obviously we might have one more episode. And I think this one's going to be a spicy one. What's up, guys? Once again, it's Giveaway Ben back at it again with the winners of last episode's giveaway and then this episode's giveaway, which is the big one. Okay, so last week we gave away the last 3 of the Stormlight Archive Deluxe Edition Call to Adventure games, and those 3 will be going to Spencer D, Chiberty, and Ryan Mcniff. If you guys send us an email on 17thshard@gmail.com, you send us your addresses and we'll get those shipped out over to you. On to this week's giveaway, which, as I said, is going to be bigger than the ones we've done before. So this one is from Crafty Games, who obviously make the Mistborn Adventure Game that this lovely Diceborn series is using. And for this kind of penultimate episode, not only are they giving us the base game rulebook to give away, they're also giving us the Alloy of Law rulebook to give away, and the Masks of the Past expansion, which, in my opinion, is the best one since it has a load of cool stuff about the Southern Scandrians, which is, with what's going on in the books right now, also you might want to read. And not only all that, but you're also going to get the Alloy of Law dice that they sell as well. And so to win this, you have to do one extra step than what you normally have to do, which is leave a comment, be a subscriber, and then on Facebook, there is a Mistborn Games Facebook group. I've linked it in the description, but you can also go find it by just searching Mistborn Games. You also need to like that group and be a part of that group. Then, in a week's time, I'm going to look to see who's commented, who's a subscriber, and then I'm going to go find your name in that Mistborn group, that Mistborn Games Facebook group, and say, oh yeah, they're part of it, and they're a winner, and then they get to win all that amazing stuff from Crafty Games. This is a worldwide giveaway, so anyone can participate. So make sure you leave that comment, make sure you'll be that subscribe, and make sure you go like that Facebook group. And we'll get back to the episode, so have a great time.
I can't believe Giveaway Ben would just spoil the ending of Lost Medal to all of us in the past.
Oh, I'm going to have some fun playing with that.
I mean, technically, there's already been an Overlady Reed's Lost Metal.
There has
Yeah,
been. There has
you
been.
just-
So.
Just go with what her ending was.
Okay, so let's, without much further ado, Natasha, did you want to kick off episode 12, the potential final episode of season 1 of Diceborn?
Of season 1.
Of season 1, I feel like I should mention that. We are planning more episodes, but with recording and releasing schedule.
We're
Natasha,
not ending, kids. We're
Yeah.
just gonna take
We're
a
not
break.
ending, kids, just in case you were wondering.
We have
Better
to
be
have fun.
rid of us.
yeah,
It's like, this might not get many views, but we have fun. And
we
that's
have
all that
so
really
much
matters.
fun.
And there's a few of you that, like, every week it's like, when is Diceborn coming out? And
We
I don't think we
appreciate
could
you so
ever
much.
let them down.
Yeah,
And maybe I think Ian, is it just you and I going to Dragonsteel? Out of
Yes.
us? Yeah. So maybe you and I can drum up some more interest in people wanting to watch by handing out shiny ribbons.
and if people watching are going to Dragonsteel, make sure you go and see Ian and Rosemary and say hi.
My hair is probably going to be a different color by then.
Do you want to show off what you might be able to give to people if they come up and say, "Hey,
Oh,
aren't
yes,
you Rosemary
yes.
from Diceborn?"
So we have these lovely Diceborn ribbons that will stick to your badge. And Eric will have 17 shard ribbons as well. But
I might need to, like,
why
pay
is
to
my
have a
phone
few
ringing?
of those shipped to me.
Damn likely.
Hell yeah.
I'm not going to answer that.
Because then I can, like, wear them to, like, because I'm going to PAX Unplugged and a few other, like, gaming
Yeah, I can-
conventions in the next.
Yeah, ping me your address. I'll send you a chunk because they're all in these little Ziploc bags, so I can just grab one bag's worth and send it to you.
Perfect.
Nice.
Yes. Because then I can stick them to my badge and also hand them out.
Yeah. So, Natasha,
Yes.
Take it
sorry.
away.
Yes. Now that we've been distracted for a little bit. So we left last session with the Nichols dog showing up with a letter from Luka and his pin, I believe, that he dropped. And the dog delivered the letter. You know, the dog.
as dogs do.
Dog. Totally
yeah.
a dog.
Yeah, definitely
Totally
a dog. Yeah.
Absolutely a dog. Delivered the letter. And inside it was, essentially saying, I'm fine, everything's great, with the undertone of everything is clearly not great, please help. So our crew is now headed back to Elendel to go rescue Luka wherever he might be, which is definitely trapped in some sort of box.
Well, at least we know where to start looking.
Oh. Is it a box or is it a morgue cubby?
Yeah.
It's 100% a morgue cubby.
I believe we left Jelly behind. We finally...
Yeah.
Yes,
Yes.
we're leaving the town of Luca's birth. We left Jelly behind, but we're taking Ghost with us, because
Obviously.
Well, Ghost has parents.
Yeah.
Ghost, you're gonna have to deal with that at some point in time.
Will we though?
Do we have to, like,
I mean, I don't know.
There.
are
might
they going to
wonder where
report
their
him
child's
missing?
been for a week and a half.
Are they?
They even
2
noticed,
weeks.
though.
Yeah.
I mean, you don't know. Ghost doesn't think they notice.
But they might.
Anyway,
Anyway.
who else wants to add to what happened last episode?
Well, Marelyn had some pretty big revelations sprung on her by Dervish.
Yes, I finally told Marelyn the fate of her dad, and specifically the guy that we were hanging around with not being her dad.
And that was a Khandra.
Yes,
Named-
named Carmel.
Carmel.
How do you spell that? Is it like-
K-A-R,
Okay.
capital K-A-R, capital M-E-L.
So no, he is not a delicious sweet treat.
I mean, we knew that from meeting him. Like,
Yeah, true. Hallie did have a heart-to-heart with Ghost that was finally, instead of a conversation trying to get him to do what we want, is a conversation of, look, kid, here's how things actually work in a crew. and here's how adults actually act around kids. So please stop trying to get yourself killed.
And the idea of even adults are still figuring it out.
Yes. So we are trying our best. And even if we get things wrong, we are trying to protect you because you are small human.
Dervish did ask Royce if he wanted to go bathing together, which Royce was rather flustered about that.
Oh, I gave him the wink. That's the sign that, you know.
Yeah, the wink, the sign.
The wink.
I'm like,
I think that made it worse.
That did.
100% made it worse. Like, what is going on?
It's like Invader Zim levels of worse or better.
Isn't one of Dervish's attributes like bad with relationships and social cues or something?
No, I have a resting Kolos face. He is just bad at relationships, though. That is the truth.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's hilarious.
Yeah.
There was a conversation between Royce, Marelyn, and Darren, Luka's father, where a lot of information was revealed. And Luka and Royce was called out for being sketchy when he was just trying to be tactful. Like, okay. Okay.
Was it tact or was it sketchy?
In Royce's mind, he was just trying to be tactful.
And so
I feel like we need to have a vote on that.
there was a bit of a revelation that Marelyn remembered that her father claimed he had a map etched in metal to a great treasure that he lost in a bet when she was younger. She didn't believe it until all of this stuff came out and they started finding maps etched into metal.
And you remember who he lost it to? Or who he said he lost it to?
I believe it's just a nobleman.
Important detail.
I don't remember that detail. No.
All I have is had lost it in a game of cards.
It was a nobleman.
Well, the DM's just told us it's an important detail that it's a nobleman. So.
He'd stolen it. He'd stolen it from a noble and lost it in a game of cards.
There you go.
Sounds accurate.
And meanwhile, before he ended up in the box, Luka made several valiant, almost, or considered or made several escape attempts from Mirabelle and Sveth. And also thinking everyone's just in cahoots, revealed that he knows about the missing persons and their connection to it, possibly. And there's some signs that all is not completely aligned in the world of Adine and Seth and Mirabelle. There's some cracks in that alliance, potentially, but we don't know much more.
Good times.
And I believe you left us.
And at the end, this isn't Luka, but at the end, you guys were, to remind you, we're also considering whether or not to tell Luka's family or how much to tell Luka's family.
I think we resolved not to tell them.
Yes. There was a letter left
Because we're like, once we've rescued him, none of this is going to apply anymore, so it'll be fine.
Yeah. No need to worry, you know?
Yeah. You know, it's fine. It's fine. Darren doesn't have great lying instincts or lying radar.
And, a couple of items on my notes. So Darren gave us a content in Elendel in order to kind of speak to in regards to the whole sliverist thing that's going on. And one of the items of the sliverists is that they use a necklace with a shard of glass from the old empire as kind of a signifier of membership.
Yeah, the stained glass from the Lord Ruler's throne room in Tridic Shaw.
I'm trying to think of anything else.
Oh, there was enough stained glass floating around the final empire that you could just grab a shard from anywhere and no one's going to know the difference.
Yeah.
Probably.
Yeah, it's from the Lord Ruler's throne room.
Yeah.
Right, sure it was.
Made
Symbolic.
2 days ago.
Hey, is that everything then?
Also,
God.
Adine is a rioter. I have that written down.
Yeah.
That came out last episode.
That was something that Darren shared.
And she used her writing to make Darren and Mara fall in love.
And also, her sister died, possibly under suspicious circumstances, named Astra, that Luka told us about in a letter. And I don't know if that was Matt's DM secret or not, but I'm like, that needs to be important. Okay, what is Luka's? What is your DM secret? It's the only secret I don't know. Like,
It's driving him crazy and it's adorable.
Especially
In
since,
love
like,
secret.
if it came up, Luka would probably just blurt it out. Like, I don't think
Yeah, like,
Luka, is
Luka
intentionally
wouldn't
being
find
secretive.
it. Yeah, Luka wouldn't find it super important. It's kind of like the Marelyn secret of like, is this really actually important or not?
Oh yeah, that was the thing that got me theorizing about what it could be, and where I came up with the idea that he saw a necklace with a shard of stained glass in it in Royce's possession, and that was my theory about what it was.
Oh, yeah.
stop spoiling the episode.
I was trying to remember why I was doing that like whole spiel of like 10 minutes just coming up with random theories. That was what it was.
Oh boy, I'm going to be the Lord Ruler, come again, like Emperor of everything, obviously.
Mad theories.
One last thing. At the bottom of my notes, I've just got the word zesty written. I don't know if that's related to Diceborn, but it's been like a month since last episode, so I could have just written that at another point. But anyway, zesty.
It has been a month since we recorded the last episode, so...
I don't remember.
I don't know.
I have no context.
I'm sure
to that,
whatever it
so,
was,
like,
it was hilarious.
Yeah. Put in the comments below if you know what zesty means, I guess.
You know, you're just gonna get a bunch of dictionary definitions. Like
Comments or comments. Like,
Yeah.
boost that engagement.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
What
make
does
up,
that
if you
mean?
don't know it, if it's not something that ever made it on screen, make something up that will entertain us.
Yeah, tell us what Ben meant by
Yeah,
zesty.
zesty. Why I wrote zesty at the bottom of my... You can't see that. At the bottom of the notes. Zesty.
Okay.
We're here for quality edutainment, kids.
Yeah.
People are not nervously stalling starting
I know, I'm like-
session.
Yeah. How long is the recording going on for?
We've got 20
so
minutes
far.
so far done.
Long.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. So, are there any advancements that want to be spent? I'm specifically asking this because there was a mention of wanting to do this on screen.
Luka would like to spend 4 advancements to gain a new trait. And given his recent experience, I'd like to add Expert Bluffer as
Yeah, he's been doing that a lot.
yeah.
As little liar.
Yeah.
I mean, it's far back. I mean, just the entire freaking campaign.
Pretty good. It's pretty good. I'm very excited for how that's gonna factor into things, especially today and in the future.
Yeah.
Ian's face is wonderful. Okay. Any other advancement notes? Oh, Marelyn, one thing I wanted to ask of you is, do you want to update us on what your new drive is?
Sure. So, my new drive is to demand the truth and answers from and about the people she loves.
Oh. Well,
I love how that's worded.
And I will say I had some debates if the ending of that was the people she loves or the people who have hurt her. But that's what the end ended up being.
Those two, that Venn diagram is very close to a circle, unfortunately.
Yeah.
And we're perfectly safe. She can barely stand us.
Yeah. And Grace asked me about that, the wording on that, and I was like, ultimately, we've talked about it, and I think that Marelyn wants to go in a more positive. Well, that Grace wants Marelyn to progress in a more positive way, and so I think that it needs to be loved rather than hurt, or loves rather than has hurt her. So hopefully that'll take her in a more positive direction, but we'll see. I don't know. It could totally backfire too. Okay. So you all set out immediately for Elendel, leaving behind a note vaguely explaining your sudden disappearance in the middle of the night to the Nickel family. And Jelly, of course, stays behind. Now that you have all decided that this is a safe enough place for her. And she will deliver that letter in the morning. And as you travel out into the darkness, a cool tendril of mist follows after you. Back in Elendel, there's some goings on. The constable's station is a bustle of activity. Not only have there been a recent rise in thefts, but also there was this giant fire at the university.
Giant.
Well, okay, it wasn't giant, but it was sizable. It was sizable. And
Would have been bigger if I hadn't been there.
yes, it was sizable. And that is the strange thing, is that now that they've had some time to investigate the arson, they are calling it arson. It has been determined at this point that it was intentionally done, because they did find that it was a Molotov cocktail that caused it. Shattered glass, kind of survived the burning. But at this point, they're not quite sure on the motives, especially given that the burn did seem to be controlled to some extent. That it wasn't just, like a couple Molotov cocktails and everything went up in flames. That they were like strategically placed, and it didn't just, consume the whole building. Anyway, there are plenty of constables running around trying to figure that out.
Yeah.
At this point, they have narrowed down a few suspects, of which they still have a warrant out for the rest of a Kolos-blooded man with red hair who was seen around the location at the time of the arson.
Who could that be? Oh.
It's very glorious red hair.
Oh, yeah.
Hallie grabs Dervish by the strap of her neck. You're getting a haircut and a dye job immediately.
And yes, so increase in thefts. And the whole medical wing building that was lit on fire has been cordoned off. And the only people allowed in and out are staff who have, permission to be there and have to be entering their offices and leaving, and the constables who are doing investigations. They do have, people patrolling and such like that.
So we're going to sneak in at night.
Well, if it isn't the consequences of my actions.
While we're waiting for it to get dark, Hallie is going to browbeat Dervish into cutting and dyeing his hair.
But yes, so you all will arrive back in Elendel safely and without issue to essentially, these rumors and this hubbub and all this going on. Royce.
Yes.
Will you be choosing to go back to the flat?
His main set of copper mines is there, and he doesn't like that. But Luka did warn him not to go back because it might be watched. So he would not immediately go just yet.
All right. So given that, Luka, when you awaken, and you've awakened in this box, and you've stretched out your arms. This is where you left the end of the episode last time. You stretched out your arms and you felt the cool metal sides of your claustrophobic imprisonment, and that you're on, kind of a slab. What do you do? Oh, and please remember that you were shot in the leg.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So I was just asking, so I know I took 2 damage from that, but what is, if I try to move my leg a bit, what is the, has it been bandaged or is it healed at all, or is it what does it seem like?
An excellent question.
I think I got some Mirabelle and Sveth did give some immediate first aid before I was knocked out. But I'm not sure if anything else has happened.
Yeah. How about you give me a spirits roll of 2?
Spirits of 2?
And we'll see how the fates have treated you.
Spirits of 2. And my spirits is 3. And I don't think I can add anything to this. So let's see what we get. Threes.
Ooh, look at that.
Very good.
Not bad at all.
Yeah, so your lake has actually been very well tended to. It has been debris, right? Is that the right word? Where they like spray the water in it and clean it out and make sure that it's like all clean, and then like sanitize with like alcohol, and then actually stitched back up and bandaged. So it's like been 100% completely properly taken care of. It will, however, of course, take time to heal.
Yeah. So do I think I could put weight on it, or I guess maybe it's hard to tell just in the box. Okay.
Yeah. But it has definitely been properly cared for.
So Luka will kind of like test, like push a bit on as much as he can just to see if he can budge, and maybe like kick with his other leg a bit, like just seeing if there's any give.
Give me an athletics check. Or not an athletics check.
Yeah.
What is it? Athletics?
Physique roll.
Physique.
What is it? Physique?
Physique.
Yes. Physique. We can tell what I've been doing.
Yeah. Challenge rating or difficulty, sorry. It's
3.
okay. I only have 2 dice, so even if it was a 1, I don't think I would make it.
Royce and
never
Luka,
know.
the weak boys.
Yeah.
Oh my
Oh,
god!
there are 5s.
Okay.
It's fine. Everything's fine. So actually you're like feeling around the sides, and you kind of like manage to wedge your feet down and then push up on, where you're like, I don't know, what must be the door at this point, right? Above your head. And the door swings outward as if it wasn't even like properly latched or shut.
Beautiful.
So, sorry, the door on top of me, or like the door, like, is it like a drawer? Like it's at my feet?
Yeah, so it's a drawer. So you're laying flat, right?
Okay.
And the door is at the top of your head.
Hey.
Yeah, so like when they would pull you out, right? You're laying flat, door at the top of your head.
You're in a morgue.
Yeah, rolling morgue drawer.
Yeah, Luka will be like, oh, I guess the athletics have been paying off. And I'm going to try to like wiggle my way out of the drawer.
You probably those things slide, so all you really have to do is pull on the edge, and you'll just slide right
Yeah, you
out.
just kind of have to push yourself.
Okay. Oh, okay. Cool.
Right.
Yeah, they're on sliders.
Okay.
Because you
So
have to be
yeah,
able to
he
get the bodies in and out.
pushes himself out and like starts to try to get up and looks around.
Yeah, so as you do this, and as you're looking around, you recognize this particular morgue room. This is the morgue, or,
Yeah.
body containment facility
Yeah.
down
Don't call
in...
it that. I don't like that.
in the medical labs. And as you look around, you see scorch marks on the wall in here. Other than that, this room seems largely untouched. It is in the basement, and it is mostly made of stone. So the scorch marks, kind of flare up the sides of the wall, but, what could have burnt was removed from the room after, the incident. And other than that, most of what was in the room already was either stone or metal. So.
Yeah. And did Luka ever find out about the burning? Like, did Dervish tell us that on the train? I'm trying to remember. I feel like you did.
I remember telling Royce when he came. I can't remember if I told Luka.
I feel like Luka was around.
Potentially, yeah.
So.
I think I did.
Yeah, I feel like that happened in the meeting after Royce showed
Yeah.
up.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because I think Luka was like, what the heck?
Yes.
So can I put weight on my leg that was shot?
Now I need another physique roll.
Okay.
And this is going to be a 3 also.
Okay.
Watch them 2 5s pop up. Again.
No.
Nope.
1 and a 3.
Mhm.
So you are not moving quickly at all.
Okay.
This is a...
Do I see anything I could use as like a crutch or a cane?
Roll me resources with 1. How do burdens work? Is it 1 less die?
Good question.
Like I think
I should know this, but I don't.
because
We're trying to play with burdens more.
Yeah, burdens. I don't think subtract die. It's like they can add die against you, like in a contested roll. I don't know.
I'll make it a 3 resources to find something that could be a proper crutch.
Okay. Ooh, 3 nudges.
That's 3
but
nudges.
Nothing. Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. So the only thing that you find is one of those like tables. It's like, really big, like the 6 foot by 3 feet wide, and it wheels. And it squeaks. So like you could totally hop along and like wheel and squeak it, but you might just be better like hopping along and trying to hold on the wall.
Okay, yeah. Luka's gonna hop along and hold on the wall. And he's gonna try to make... Oh, and like checking my person, am I like... Has anything else changed or happened? Is anything there that shouldn't be there, or anything missing that should be?
Back at yourself for spikes.
You are pretty much like stripped down to like pants and a shirt. Like all of your belongings pretty much are gone. It's just you and very basic clothing.
Okay.
I would like you also to roll me a physique of 1.
Okay. Oops, I forgot to change the difficulty, but it doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter.
Another nudge, though.
Banking them up.
Mhm.
Okay. So you notice that the door has been burnt down. There is no more door.
Oh,
No
okay.
more door. That just doesn't exist here anymore. So it's just an open doorway.
Okay. I'll go
Stop
through
messing.
the door and just like I'll probably just try to until I run into something or hear something or notice anything. I'll probably just try to get out of the building.
Okay. I need you to roll me a spirits roll of 5. It's a challenge 5.
Can I add anything to this? Could I add my drive to avoid failure?
Yes.
To this? Okay. That's 4 dice. Let's see. 2s and a nudge. No cigar.
So as you are walking down the hallway, let's see who pops up.
Come on, Rafe. Come on, Rafe.
No, Sveth. Definitely Sveth. He's a bumbling fool,
Luka has proven himself physically superior to Seth on several occasions.
So coming down the hallway is Rafe. And alongside him is someone you didn't really meet him, but it was only someone you've seen in passing. This man is a man by the name of Timuth Brunswick.
That guy.
Okay. Gotcha.
Yes.
Oh, go ahead.
And as they're coming down the hall, they're talking, and they both see you and pause. And Rafe kind of looks at him and looks back at you. And Timuth goes, "Oh, well, what do we have here?"
Well, I seem to have gotten into a bit of trouble falling down the stairs and went rummaging around for some medical supplies, and I'm just trying to, be on my way. I'll, sort out repayment to the university for any supplies used at a later date. So sorry to bother you.
No. I believe he's escaped containment, has he not?
Knew this guy was bad news.
Punch him, Rafe. Punch him. Rafe, save Luka.
And so they're in my way, hey?
Oh, yeah.
How's Rafe reacting to all of this?
Yeah, how is Rafe reacting to all of this? Because eyes will kind of be like darting back and forth between the two of them.
Eyeing inside inch by inch.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. What do I want you to roll?
Vibe check.
Yeah.
Roll for vibe check.
I think that's a wits.
Yeah.
I think we've decided vibe checks are wits. So that's a wits of 3.
Okay. And I'm going to ask to add my socialite university student traits.
Okay.
Because this is like a professor and okay. I know they're like dynamic should be.
Okay. Sure.
So that would be wits 4, so plus that 5 dice. Wits 3.
So Rafe looks like he is caught between a rock and a hard place.
Okay.
Yeah, he looks like he's in a pretty tight spot. And he doesn't look like he's quite sure what to do about it yet.
Okay. So Luka's just going to be like, well, I must say, as much as I love a good sensory deprivation treatment, I really think I should be just going and we can forget, whatever is going on here. Ever happened. You don't need to, worry about me. I'm, just doing my own thing. And I'm sure my grandmother as well would be I'm sure she's worried about me and would be very grateful to know I'm all right. So if you could just let me be on my way.
Roll me influence.
Influence. Okay.
And this is going to be a challenge of 4.
So many rolls.
Yeah.
Influences, I have 6. So.
Oh, damn.
A good roll for Luka.
Oh, so
You have
nudges.
nudges.
you have, in fact, you got enough nudges on that one to bump it up to 4.
I do, yeah, because 3 nudges can bump it up, right?
Mhm.
You want
I'm
to
gonna
now?
Roll the 3s and 3 nudges.
bump it up to 4.
Hey. Tamuth kind of, his brow just like knits together really tightly. And Rafe is just standing there at this point in time, like biding his time. And you can tell like it's a very calculated measure on his part of just letting Tamuth figure it out. And you can even, because you know Rafe well enough, you know not only is this one smart, but you know that, and I mean, obviously you've put together at this point that, you know, Rafe is not a good human being. I mean, or at least that he's, you know,
Not innocent.
not innocent in your being in the whole morgue drawer situation.
Yeah.
Is he the one that did the stitching?
Probably.
No.
And Tamuth just stares at you for a moment with kind of this like haughty expression when you bring up your grandmother.
Luka is going to try to match that haughty expression and emulate Adine like as best he can.
And Tamuth says, well, Rafe, it would seem that this young man here would be displeased to upset his grandmother. So,
Yes.
yes. Perhaps we should make better arrangements for his
Safety, comfort.
yes, safety, comfort,
Yes, and
lodging.
I think my grandmother's townhouse, I could just
Well, your
whisk
grandmother
over
will
there.
be here this evening. So I'm certain that she will be fine. So long as you're well taken care of. I know that Mirabelle and Sveth were not as careful in their handling of you.
Interesting. So you're preferring the instructions of Mirabelle and Sveth over Adine and Lariel. That's very, very interesting. I think there's been some sort of misunderstanding here, and I have a hard time keeping track of people and faces. I don't know your involvement in all of this, but
Oh yes, I'm Tamuth Brunswick.
Yes, Tamuth Brunswick, a university professor, and Brunswick is not a very big name now, is it? Not like Hastings or Lariel per se. So it can be easy, to get caught up in things, and if you don't have certain influence, it can get you into trouble. Obviously. I mean, look at me. Even I, with my family name, can get into trouble. So just think about what would happen, to you if you ended up on the wrong side of things.
And at that point, Rafe goes, quite. And then Tamuth just goes, well, yes, well, I will see that
You know what? I don't want you mixed up in this. Honestly, I think you're caught in a tough position. You know what? You were never
Perhaps.
here. Rafe here is, Seth's brother. He can speak to his intentions, and he, and I know my grandmother well. So I'm sure between the two of us, we can sort this all out.
Perhaps it would be best to find you a more comfortable waiting place for this evening.
Well, I guess if it's if the townhouse is out of the question, I guess I'll see what you have to offer. I'll send word to Chester, my grandmother's household staff, for some effects and comforts. And, I'm sure I can come up with a rider of things that would be very helpful.
And Rafe just says, Tamuth, that will be quite enough. I think it would be best if we show young Ilariel up to one of the rooms upstairs and, perhaps give him a few more comforts, maybe a meal, and we certainly wouldn't want to upset his grandmother in case things go poorly later. And Tamuth just kind of nods and says, yes, well, right this way, sir.
Thank you, Professor. Luka, hobbles.
Roll me a spirits roll of 4. I know it's unlikely, but you've been...
It's been hot, and it is
of
again.
Course.
2 5s.
Is it going to be the thing I hope it's going to be? We'll see.
So, as you are hobbling along, Wraith makes this sigh of annoyance and then scoops under your arm and helps you walk a bit easier and says, this is taking far too long.
Sure, that's the only reason.
I'd hate to be an inconvenience, and I'm quite uncomfortable, so thank you for your humanity, I guess. It's very charitable of you. That's right.
Okay. Back in the rest of the city, you all have arrived to, everything. What would you like to do?
So, should we say during the train we discussed planning? Because
Yeah, and we also may have gone ahead and gone with the, hey, you need to change your hair.
Yes, I think at that point would have been a great thing. Because you would have seen the wanted posters still up in the train.
Carmel's going to be able to just snap his
Condra
fingers
needs some time to work there,
do I want to cut my hair? Oh, man.
You definitely have to dye it. It will grow back.
Dyeing way better. Marelyn.
Hold on, I might have a solution. Hold on.
Ah, yes, Marelyn, master of disguise. She is the right person for this job.
One of my I have a disguise in my equipment. I could probably have a wig. We could try a wig.
Absolutely.
Excellent. Marelyn, let's see this wig then, shall we? What does it look like?
It is a giant, like, large brown mullet.
Perfect.
Cool. All right.
I have others. That's just the one that I, like, pull out, and I'm like, this'll work.
First, though, we're gonna have to rein in your existing hair and, like...
Yeah. We could tie it up and give it a braid. You know, it's just
Yeah,
put it in a big...
I mean, I'm sure with this...
Hallie pulls tightly when she does whatever the Scadrian word for a French braid is, but, you know it's gonna stay.
Yeah. Cool. So now I'm rocking a mullet. There we go.
The at one point we talked about the alternate universe characters, and now all I can see is biker Dervish with a mullet.
Yeah. Leather jacket, you know.
I did have that split second of like, what would be the funniest hairstyle, and my immediate response was mullet.
Yeah. What color is this mullet? We said
like
brown?
It's like a dirty brown.
Okay.
I'm just, because this is coming from Marelyn's disguise kit. So this is like Marelyn sometimes goes around with the mullet.
I mean, to be
wants to
fair, disguise herself really well.
To be fair, a mullet is just kind of like an overdone wolf cut. Like, that's really what we're getting here.
I think maybe Marelyn pulls out like a couple other wigs and like holds them up, and they're all like a bit more feminine, and like nothing else really fits like Dervish except the mullet, and so it's like,
Yeah, and like I could see mullet vibes for like a real like hard street criminal, like styled right, like on a girl.
I'm sorry, MacGyver is the only person who can pull off that hairstyle.
Okay.
But it's definitely funny.
Yeah. Planning. I think we need a trip to the brass ladle to go see if Adora is still there with the necklace.
Mm-hmm.
Is it safe?
Well, given the fact that the individual we thought had burned that location is
Probably
in fact a Kandra.
Oh yeah, that's
not
right.
as disastrous as it could have otherwise been. So I don't want a metagame, but what I was going to propose is like we need to find Rafe and either like kidnap him or like convince him to help, but I don't know how that's gonna work.
I say you tapped the coin, which makes us think he may potentially be an ally. Yeah.
Yeah, Royce believes Rafe is an ally.
Yeah. I don't think that's too metagamey to say let's go find Royce.
And we know where to start looking. The burned out husk of that isn't as badly burned as it might look. But I don't think we can get in there till it starts getting dark. Because there are cops around.
Mm-hmm.
And then even once the cops are around, okay, so I'm trying to work out. We have the contact, Darren's contact as well, don't we?
Now here's a thought. A ghost has friends, right? Could we maybe have his friends create some sort of distraction to attract the Connor's attention while we sneak in?
Not a terrible idea.
I don't know that Ghost has friends.
I think we're his friends.
Yeah,
like
he must have contacts. There's got to be kids his own age who would like.
I don't like this plan. Marelyn's whole thing is not getting kids involved. I don't think she'll approve of this plan.
But Ghost is like older people, like teenagers, is like street toughs.
Ne'er-do-wells.
Yeah. Not innocent on his level.
he killed a man. He killed a woman. So is he innocent?
Yeah,
I forgot.
still
Yeah.
very innocent.
I mean, I'll offer to look into Darren's contact if we're like splitting up jobs.
That's a good idea. Because my brain was thinking we could give Marelyn. Obviously, I think you're like the only person who's not really been burned when it comes to the university building.
Mirabelle and Smith have met me.
Oh yeah, true.
But
They haven't met Hallie though.
Well, okay, so
Hallie
is
Do you guys know that Mirabelle and Speth
are involved? We don't. Ooh, okay.
None of these people know Hallie yet.
My concern
so far
with
as we know.
Hallie is that you were with me when I got spotted burning with the Molotov, so I'm worried he might. Like, they obviously blame the Colossus-blooded guy, but you were also maybe.
There are no posters of her up. Plus,
true.
it was dark, and she's a lot more nondescript than you are.
This is true.
They're like, yeah, there are a couple people there, but one was Colossus-blooded, and that's the only one we noticed.
Yeah.
Is high likelihood.
So we send in Rosemary. So we send in Marelyn and and oh my god, Rosemary's character's name.
Hallie.
Sorry, we send in Marelyn and Hallie together. There you go, easy done.
To life. I mean, if the goal is to look for Rafe, we could. I don't know that Hallie and I are going to be the most.
Yeah.
I feel like Hallie and Marelyn are the two of the crew who are most like, can we really trust Rafe?
True.
But I mean, if we're the only two who can go in.
Yeah, just like it's like Royce and Luka being roommates. How much do they suspect? Like, because Voice's connection to the rest of the crew, I don't think is no.
True.
So but like Luka's flatmate going into the medical building.
You'd have to be a very good liar. You'd have to know a lot of things. You'd have to maybe have like a secret access card or something to be really convincing.
Like a mark of
that
membership
might be
into
really
a group.
difficult. I don't think their technology is up to access card levels.
I don't think Natasha was being literal. Yes. Okay. All right. So,
like if Royce had a necklace with a shard of glass stored somewhere.
Well, we can't go to the flat to find out, so we have to fall back on Adora.
Yeah. So, okay. Royce, me and you, we'll go get the necklace and see if we can't find Rafe. And then Marelyn.
Fair enough.
You guys are gonna go. Okay, that's a bad idea, but
I was gonna say I kind of don't want to go to the Brass Ladle by myself.
Why not?
So I'm sure you guys know Leah. She's an ex of mine who works there.
You're very good at screwing those up.
Yeah, I kind of made a big deal about me leaving, and it's been like 4 days, and now I'm back. Maybe
it's been longer than 4 days.
Okay, it's been
like
it's been like closer to like a week and a half.
Okay.
I mean, doesn't that mean she'd be happy to see you alive?
Yeah, I started when I got back. I'd tell
you
her
really
a bunch of
wanted
stuff.
to just leave the poor woman hanging? He gets a very light thwap upside the head. Dervish!
Yeah.
You know what you should
Talk
do
to her.
You know what you should do when you see her, Dervish? You should tell her about Belle.
That sounds like a terrible idea. And again, she is an ex. Let's
for imagination
want to know that you're
purposes.
moving on and being happy.
For imagination purposes, does Hallie have to jump to hit the back of Dervish's head?
Possibly a little bit, yes. You do have to give her gun back.
That's a good point. You sure you guys don't want to go to the Brass Ladle without me?
Yes.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, I can go. I can go with Royce, or I can go with Hallie. Do you want to come?
Apparently, I'm going to have to make sure you actually go.
Yeah.
And I'll take the name Darren gave us and start. Like, I assume I have contacts. I'll offer to look into that. So.
Okay. What's Royce doing?
Like, I want to go to the flat, but that's a bad idea.
It's also probably a bad idea to send anybody else.
Or is it? If they're if they're looking for Royce and Royce is, if they're watching it because they're waiting for Royce, I assume Royce to come home. Mm-hmm. Royce's relationship with our crew is not. We don't know if it's super well known. So someone else going might actually. Oh no, because then it would link Royce to that someone else. Okay, don't worry about it. Yeah.
And I mean, the only person I could think who could pull it off is Ghost, and I don't know if we want to put him in that much danger.
Ooh.
It's like the question is like they might assume that you're going there because it's Luka's flat.
True.
However, I want to go to the flat. It's a bad idea, but I want to. I want to get those copper mines because
if you're going to the flat, you're not doing it alone. So because if trouble happens and you're there by yourself, you're not going to be able to get yourself out of it again.
Or I end up where Luka is.
I think
which is Royce. Also
Ghost perks up.
Dervish looks at Marelyn.
I'm good at noticing things.
Yeah, that's actually... Yes. I'll take Ghost. Who will remain outside, safe.
We'll be able to run back and tell us if you get your butt kidnapped too.
Yes.
Just try not to get kidnapped. One's bad enough.
Mm-hmm. Well, somebody needs to check on Luka.
Which he's not there, but we're gonna do that. We just need to get our act together. We're not leaving that ridiculous cinnamon roll of a human in enemy hands.
No, we certainly are not.
So let's go to the brass ladle first.
Cool.
I feel like that's what needs to happen.
Let's torment Dervish first.
Yeah. So excited.
On the way over, I will be telling Hallie, like, so the horse situation, you know.
You need someone to vent to.
Yeah, I'm like, we were traveling with those horses for like a week, and then he just turns her up, and I mean, obviously, it's a shame about the Marelyn thing, but then like at least I actually knew the horse first, and then he goes and eats it, and I was just act like that's fine, you know, because he's one of God's servants.
No, it's not fine. He also ate their dog. What the hell?
Oh yeah, I'm not sure if that was
awful.
Yeah.
So we're just bitching about bitching about this Conjure and his habit of eating people's pets.
Yeah.
We don't know the dog was Carmel.
It's true.
I mean, we don't know, but we're gonna blame him anyway.
Yeah.
It's the only Conjure we know right now.
So as you arrive back at the brass ladle, I need you to roll me physique rolls of 2.
Okay, good times.
Let you go first.
All right. Physique rolls. Well, I got 1, 2, 3, 4, so nothing.
Okay.
And and then I assume this is not something for like strength based.
No.
Cool. Then I've just got my 7.
Just got your 7. Well,
Yeah.
at least you made it.
There you go.
So Dervish notices a few things. One of which is that Adora is here with Jebus, her son. And also, as he's walking in, talking to Leah, is 2 constables.
Oh, no.
Boy.
Oh. Well, anyway, Hallie, Dora's over there. I'll see you later.
So I'm giving her back her gun.
I'm gonna...
On, you got lucky this time.
I know. Well, what I'm thinking is, as a player, I'm thinking, how can I just kind of hide until the constables leave? And like, do we want to go talk to Adora now while the constables are like, I assume, like in the building, or should I go hide and wait for them to leave?
Have the constables noticed us?
At this point, they have not. They're fully focused on talking to Leah.
Cool. I will go. I don't want to hide. I don't want to be too suspicious because I don't have the big red hair. Let's go talk to Adora, shall we, Hallie?
Just right in front of the constables.
Yeah. What do you think? I'm thinking we go talk to Adora and wait for them to leave.
Or we just go get some soup, like we're here to eat.
That's a really good point. I've worked here for too long. I forgot we could pretend to not work here.
Let's go do that.
Let's go do that.
Okay. I'm going to need what is going to be a disguise roll. Is that charm?
I'm down for charm.
Yeah.
Yeah?
Charm?
Yeah.
Dervish, I need you to roll me a charm of 2. You'll get an extra die from your prop of having your hair dyed.
Mm-hmm.
Or
wigged.
Yeah. What's the difficulty on that?
2.
2. Alright, so I'm rolling 5 dice.
Oh no.
Well, that's a thing.
Oh, that's such a big 0.
So you are why don't you roll me a spirits roll, Dervish?
Oh hell yeah.
I've
been pumping that. I've been pumping the spirits. I'm at 6.
3.
Cool. Can I add anything to for this?
Like this is a desperate backup.
Yeah.
This is a who notices Dervish.
Right, I'm rolling 6 dice.
That
is 2 5s.
Okay.
I'm also at 6 nudges now.
So, it just happens, and it's so fate intervened that Leah looks up, notices you, clearly recognizes you despite the hair being different, and she just kind of like casually moves so the Connors look more at her and are facing with their backs to you.
She's covering for us and not turning you in.
Yes.
And she just continues talking to them, though. It's not like she's hurting them out or anything like that. And you also notice Adora looks over and like waves at you.
I am just imagining that because I've just got a wig on. I've still got my normal clothes and just look exactly the same. It's just the wig.
Just you're wearing a wig.
Everyone's immediately recognizing me. Okay, I'll go up, get some soup, and then head on over and sit with Adora and Jebus.
We'll also get soup and can and follow right along and wish the bowl was full of popcorn instead of soup.
So you go over and you sit down with Adora, and Adora, says hello, and Jebus is, also happy to see you. And she asks you how you've been. And
busy.
And then she says, well, I'm glad to hear that is busy good, busy.
Busy good and busy bad, but mostly busy good, I'd say.
It's been an exciting week and a half.
Yeah.
Oh.
Though she might notice that Hallie's looking a bit more relaxed than the last time. She's just sort of more open and less grr.
Well, it seems to have been a transformative time, at least.
Yeah, you could say that. I'm just trying something new,
Rub the wig too hard.
No, I know. It just moved a little. Adora, I'm glad I actually ran into you. By any chance, do you have that necklace that we left with you? The one that belonged to your father?
I'm going to have one of you make a spirits roll.
I have 6.
-4. You make the roll.
I like the roll. Is there a difficulty?
It's a spirits roll of 3.
3.
Yeah.
Cool. And then can I add anything to it?
No.
Okay, here we go. I got a 0. However, I also got 3 nudges, which puts me up to 9 nudges, which is enough to pass this and bump it up by 3. And so I'm going to spend 9 nudges to pass the spirits roll.
Okay.
There we go.
Can get behind that. I can get behind that. Adora says, I do. It's been one of the more difficult pieces to sell.
Yeah.
Can we borrow it? Because apparently it's a symbol for a secret society, which is probably why you're having so much trouble unloading it.
Yes, you may certainly borrow it.
Yes.
Or we will bring it back. You haven't been flashing it around too much, have you?
We have to go rescue a friend who's been kidnapped.
Yeah, like I said, busy, exciting week.
Yeah.
All right. I feel like I should just not ask any more questions before I become embroiled in another something.
Our lives are weird.
And Jebus, just ignore everything you just heard.
He just kind of
that is a guarantee to make sure that he will never forget it.
Yeah.
Yeah, you haven't been flashing the necklace around a bit, too much, have you?
No, I took it to a couple jewelers, but
okay.
Just,
I think that should be fine.
But yeah, so she, out of a little pouch, she draws it out and hands it across to you.
Go. I will.
And at that point, the Connors turn around and walk out.
It's good soup. Thank you, Dora. Like I said, we will get this back to you. We do promise, but I gotta go.
You have to go talk to Leah.
Yeah, you sure you don't want to come, Hallie?
I'll watch from a distance.
Okie dokie. And then I'll get up and I'll head over to I'll wait for the Connors to be well and truly out of the hall, and then I'll go and head over to Leah.
And Leah just gives you a look like, what the hell have you done? And it's just this kind of mildly perturbed.
Yeah. Hey, Leah. How's it going?
Fine.
What did the Connors want?
Oh, nothing to do with you. Well,
okay.
Perhaps. Do you remember that boy that used to come in here?
You're gonna have to be more specific than that.
The one that used to follow you around?
Slim Jimmy?
Slim Jimmy is a man.
Oh, okay. I got the impression he was young.
I'm deliberately obtuse.
Child.
I do, yeah.
He was always kind of
Chester,
skulking around after you.
Ghost, I think he liked to be called.
Yes,
Yeah.
well, his name is Chester.
Yeah.
Apparently he's been missing for a week and a half, 2 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
Around the same time that you left.
Wow.
And since you're already wanted for arson,
Yeah.
I thought perhaps you wouldn't also want to be wanted for kidnapping.
Leah, do I look like a kidnapper to you?
I won't answer that question.
I'm very glad to see you, by the way.
Yes, hi, I'm back. I survived. I probably say a bit too
Good.
loud.
A couple of people look over at you and like,
yeah.
And Hallie mutters to her table, there wasn't lack of trying.
Yeah, it's I dealt with my business. Should we grab a room out, not the main hall?
right.
Cool.
Hallie slumps a little bit like, oh, I wanted to watch the whole thing.
And she'll follow after you out.
Yeah. I'll just find like a quiet room.
Well,
Okay.
I guess the show's over.
All right, so then I'll do him and I'll just be like, okay, I told you I'd tell you what was going on, and so I am in a little bit of a rush, so I'm gonna see what I can do, burn some pewters, see if we can't get through this quick. Okay, so I'm from the Roughs, you know that part. I'm not from a good family in the Roughs. We may have taken part in some criminal activities, including the burning and raiding of the Elendel settlements out there.
So, is the arson actually your fault?
We'll get to the arson.
Oh boy.
I left.
Always the best place to begin. We'll get to the arson.
I killed someone in the tribe as because I needed to leave, and I it was my only way out. And so I fled here because I heard life was slightly better in Elendel, and it has been, you know. However, about 2 weeks ago, my sister kind of came looking for me because of the murder, and so I kind of had to go out.
Tip, don't refer to it as murder.
She wanted it all. I'm giving her the best I can. And at this point, I'm like pacing back and forth. I'm not really looking at her as I explain it. And so I had to go out and I had to go fight her in a battle to the death. But she was like killing people on the way to it. So I was like, no, I'm not going to wait for that to happen. So I fought her in the basin still. And your gun came in handy. My friend Hallie, she's a good shot with it. And so I really appreciate that. And just, and that's where I was going. I was going to go meet my sister, and I didn't know if I was going to come back. And so but then I dealt with that situation, and now I'm back, and I'm here. And and I threw a Molotov cocktail at the university building, and that's why I'm on to Frossen.
Not that that had anything to do with anything else, and there was no reason to get to it later.
All right. Well, so are you back for good now?
That's a good question. It depends whether the Conjure can deal with the arson situation. But
Mentioning the faceless immortals in conversation, no problem whatsoever.
I'm gonna stay in the city, but I think I might get my own place. You know, I don't know if I'll. I think I'm gonna be at the very least, I'm gonna move out of the Brass Ladle.
Okay.
But yeah, here's your gun back, and I've got to go help a friend in need. That's actually it's not the only reason I came back here. But I've got to go help a friend, and then yeah, I'll pop back in if when I've got things kind of a bit more organized. It's been a rough week for me. I'm not gonna lie.
Yes. Murdering and arson and kidnapping generally makes for a bad week.
Okay, the kidnapping. He didn't tell us he had parents for like 5 days. We we thought he was a homeless kid. But yeah. Okay, the way you're looking at me now, this is why I didn't really want to be telling you. It's not nice. I've not lived a good life, you know.
I feel like it's more the way in which you're telling me rather than the telling me. That's the problem.
Oh, you really just should have had Hallie there for this conversation.
I really wanted Hallie there for this conversation.
Look, in our defense, we thought the kid we kidnapped was homeless and no one was going to miss him.
See, when you put it like that, it sounds terrible.
So it wasn't so much kidnapping as it was giving him a home.
I don't know. I've never really opened up like this to people. You know, there's people I've known longer in this city that I haven't told half of this to.
Roll me charm.
Can do. Can I add anything to the charm?
I don't think so.
Okay. And the difficulty?
2.
Roll 4 dice. On a 2. Come on. Oh, I got 3.
Okay. She takes a breath in and then sighs. And she says, "So you're moving out of the Brass Ladle.
Yeah.
But you'll come back."
Yeah, I'll help make this place what it is. I'm not just gonna abandon it. But I feel like I need to kind of make... I was staying here because I didn't really have anywhere else to go, and I want to make a place that I can go. This place has been good to me, but I feel like I need my own place separate to it.
And as you're saying this, you kind of get this feeling that she's trying to figure out if you're giving the gun back to cut ties and you are leaving the brass ladle to cut ties with her, or if you are trying to explain to her that you're trying to get to a point where you could be the type of person that she needs. Does that make sense?
Yeah, so I'm gonna... Dervish is normally really bad at this kind of thing, but I think the holding the gun to her, telling her I'm off, the two neurons in his brain are finally connecting, and he's going to realize how this looks. And he'd be like, but this isn't because of you. I'm like, like I said, I know we broke up and I know why. But I'm like looking at the gun and I'm like, this, like, I can't hold on to this though. It has been useful. And I don't know if I'm quite ready to let go of it just yet. And found myself coming to care about it a bit, and so if it's all right with you, I'm going to hold on for it a bit longer.
And Leah just kind of looks at Dervish and considers him for a moment and says, yeah, whenever you feel like returning it or not returning it, let me know.
Will do.
As far as I'm concerned, why we broke up, we've gotten past that now. You're actually talking to me and telling me stuff. And so long as that continues, I think that's a good thing.
Really glad to hear that. I'm gonna lean down and kiss her.
Okay. And for a moment, she like completely pauses, is like kind of surprised, and then she like leans into it and embraces it and kisses you back.
Yay! Oh, that could have gone terribly.
And then as you pull back, she's like, "You had better get that kid back to his parents."
Yeah. Priority number one. Kind of. I'll keep him safe, and I'll make sure he gets back to his parents.
Yes.
Cool. Anyway, I gotta head off. I'll come back soon. As soon as I can.
Okay. And she grabs you by the shirt again and pulls you down and kisses you again.
Excellent.
And says, "Oh."
Cool. I go and I very quickly grab Hallie. I'm as bright red as a colors can be.
It either went really well or really poorly.
I don't know yet. My brain's a bit mushy. Let's head off and go find Royce.
We will cut to that after we take a break. Cool. Hey, so we'll go in with Royce and Ghost now, cutting over to, the kidnapped child and the other kidnappers.
I am his Alabancy teacher.
Oh, okay, sure.
Yeah.
Completely different. Speaking of, on our trip to the flat, it's time for the second lesson of being a Tenai.
It is day out.
Yes. This part of the lesson I can do right now.
Okay.
There's there is a third thing that will require the miss. But okay. So, on the way to the flat, Royce will start he will reference back to the first lesson of being a Tenai, which is learning how to tune stimuli out to notice what you need to notice. And the second lesson is that, much like how in a conversation, the things left unsaid are often as important as the things that are said. That the important thing when using your tin is the ability to notice when something that should be there isn't. So if you're going through a neighborhood and there should be children out playing, but there aren't, that's usually indicative of something's going on. Be aware. And so it's just, that's the vibe he's going into this. So it's notice are fewer people going in and out of a building than there should be, stuff like that.
And Ghost, as always, takes a couple of moments to actually figure out that he's being taught something. And then focuses in on it and becomes very, very intent and intentional on listening and noticing and, picking up on those details and memorizing them. And then he begins to, apply them. And at first he's okay at applying them. But clearly at this point in his training, he is much better at picking out the things that are there than the things that are not there, which is quite typical. And also, it is the middle of the day and, there aren't necessarily things to notice. However, he asks, as you guys are going along, he asks, so, how Calcifer used to be in charge of the crew?
I am aware, yes.
And they don't really know where he went?
Correct. Do you know?
Not exactly.
What do you know?
I know how we could find out.
Well, I think that is something you should bring to your crew leaders' attention. Marelyn will know what to do with that.
No, I know. Marelyn, you and Marelyn don't get along very well.
No.
So maybe if you told her, it would be good. Especially if it's something that you learn and then immediately tell her.
This kid is such a good ally.
My thing, I was thinking Marelyn's immediate reaction would be, how long have you known this?
I think it is probably for the best if I'm not involved with this. I would tell you, as you said, Marelyn and I do not get along.
Yes, but that's what I'm trying to fix. There's no reason for you to not get along.
That you are aware of. But that is between myself and Marelyn.
Well, I think you're being silly.
Perhaps we are. But perhaps not. But I will take that under advisement.
Ghost seems very dissatisfied with the way this conversation has gone.
Yeah. And Royce is very firm and just firm and placid in temperament. Just
yes, and clearly he's not arguing at this point. He kind of drops it, but very clearly unhappy.
Honestly surprised Royce didn't just agree to get the information. In space at that.
Growth?
And growth, maybe. And as you arrive at the flat, you arrive at the flat, and I would like you to make me a physique check.
Okay. Presumably, this is our stealth as we arriving. I do want to make it clear, Ghost is not coming inside the building with me. He is staying outside to watch. So if I get nabbed, he is not implicated in the slightest.
Royce doesn't get in trouble for kidnapping,
Well,
it's
obviously that's my highest priority, not protecting the kid. Okay. Physique. Anything I can add to this? I don't think so. What's the difficulty?
2.
Okay. I have 2 dice.
Good.
No.
Hey. Let's see here. Okay. So Ghost stands outside of the building, waiting for you as you go in.
I do want to be burning tin, by the way. I'm burning tin.
Okay. Okay. And you head upstairs. And when you get upstairs, the door is, locked in the way that you left it. However, when you go inside of the flat is trashed. The entire place has been, searched through, gone through. Yeah.
Well, first of all, I'm going to go to my room and look for my metal mines.
I need you to roll me a spirits roll of 3.
Okay. I don't think any of my things apply here because this is an information acquisition.
Nope.
Not unless you take a very obtuse definition of that.
Yeah. I don't think my profession as a banker applies. Okay. I do have 7 spirits, so...
Good chances.
Yeah. You said 3?
Yes.
Okay. 4s. And
Okay. So your metal mines,
I hid them.
yeah, you do find them. And you find them pretty much only because you hid them well.
Mm-hmm.
You get the sense that if you had not hidden them, they would absolutely be gone.
Mm-hmm.
Roll me a wits of 4 challenge.
Okay. Can I add +1 because I'm burning tin?
Yes.
Okay. Is this an acquiring of informative information or no?
I mean, it is, but it isn't. Like,
Okay.
it's not. It's information, but it's not information like that you would store in a metal mine. Does that make sense?
That's fair. Okay, so that's 5 dice to get 4.
This is more of that, like, you know, those Sherlock Holmes scenes where it's like putting everything together. That's what's happening. Okay. Okay.
Too many of your mystery novel memories stuffed into metal mines. It's quite put it all together.
Yeah.
Do I get ganked? Do I get kidnapped?
He's so excited.
Actually rooting for it.
Like, he needs to make sure Luka is safe, guys.
We're working on it. You just can't sneak in there till later.
No. It's actually quiet.
Is it the wrong kind of quiet?
It's you would have expected that someone would have been here. Like you were, right? That, you know, something would go very wrong. But it's not. So either whatever the person was looking for here that trashed the flat, they either found what they were looking for, or they decided that they found enough to know it was not here.
Rafe's influence, possibly.
And this might have been the roll you had me made. Like, but can I do a roll to see, like, is anything missing? Or is that covered by what you had me roll before?
No, that isn't covered by what I had you roll before. Yeah, you can do that. Yeah, I think this one will be a wits.
Okay. But I should have had one more dice on the last one, but I don't think it'll make a difference. Oh well. Because my wits is 5, not 4. Okay, so 5 +1 from burning tin? Or no?
Would Royce have any memories of the flat stored that he could like?
So that's why I'm making it a wits rather than a perception, or rather than a physique, right? I'm kind of playing it almost like a, you know how in D&D you have perception versus investigation, and investigation is like actively looking, and intelligence versus perception is
wisdom based.
Yeah, wisdom based, and like whether or not you notice the thing. So this is based on whether or not Royce can remember what was there and
so
what should be, what he has, what Luka had.
Okay, so 5 wits, and then can I spend 2 charges to get 1 die for my copper alliancy of like memory of this room?
Yes.
Okay.
And it's not necessarily that you would have like, a memory of the specific, like looking around, memorizing your items, but you'd have memories of being in this room, and so you could kind of compare it vaguely, right? Like when you take pictures of a place and then you're like, oh, okay, yeah, I remember that vase. Like,
yeah. And what's the difficulty?
4.
Okay.
Hey.
5s.
Okay. Nothing is missing.
Interesting.
Like, they have to have been looking for like the unsealed metal mine or something.
Or a necklace with a shard of glass on it.
No.
Oh, do they know we did that?
Not explicitly.
They might suspect, but I doubt they know anything for sure.
Yeah, if like they found it here, they would know, but okay, then Royce is gonna lock the door behind him and go outside. Like
outside?
Oh no.
Oh boy.
Ghost is standing there and he's talking to 2 constables.
Okay, I am not going to engage with that.
Are you like, you do have tin burning?
Yeah, I'm like,
yes,
what?
So
what?
you can listen to what they're saying.
I do want to listen to what's happening, but like, I don't want to be like, walk up to them and it's like, hey kid, let's go, because that would be suspicious. But
so he's talking to them and they're like, Chester, you do realize that your father has been looking for you for like 2 weeks now. And he just goes, well, technically, I mean, I just thought he'd be busy with work, and
I know. I'm like, okay,
I do want to like get around behind the constable so like Ghost can see me, and I'm like, I'm going to do arcane hand gestures and be like, yo, don't mention us, like.
And the constables are like, look, we have to take you like with us. And he just goes, but do you like, I mean, I feel like you could just tell him that you saw me and then we can leave it at that. We can just leave it at that. And at this point, he's clearly just ignoring Royce, like, fully.
Great.
Royce is just going to turn and start walking away. Just like...
and they say, They say, you're really going to have to come to the station with us. And he goes, no, how about I just go home? Can I just go home instead? I'll check in with my nanny and
nanny.
Oh no!
Oh no! Like actually a Hastings.
And they just look at him with like this very stern look. And then Ghost says, hey, look over there! And he points at Royce and then just turns and books it.
Like, Royce is just like very like
and they're just like, what? I'm gonna see if he can distract them long enough to get away. Nanny.
But I think I did have a thought when we found out he had parents. I was like, his parents are gonna be rich. Like, they're gonna be nobles.
It was also like his dad. What's his dad do for work? His dad's really busy with work. What does he do?
I regret calling him Chester. This is all because I gave him a fancy name.
It's just like Luka. He's the rich boy who just wants to have a life of pride.
Something like Dunging or something. Like.
Here we were thinking he's some poor street rat. No.
Nope. Oh no.
So as he goes to like run away, one of the constables just grabs him by the cuff of the shirt, and goes, "Oh no, you don't," and says, "Let's go. We're gonna go see your dad."
Royce is going to follow them so that he discreetly.
Okay, please give me a physique roll.
Oh God.
You know, you don't have to follow them that closely. You can use your tin.
Yeah. Okay. So I do want to like. Can I add a die for my tin eye being a tin eye? So I'm doing it from a distance.
Yes.
Ghost is a small human, correct? Also known as a little guy.
No, he's a large chondra.
Okay. Like, he's a little guy.
He's just a little guy. It's just a little guy.
Just a little guy.
Yeah, it's just a little guy.
Yeah.
So my drive of look out for the little guy totally applies here.
Good grief, yes.
Yes. Okay, so I have 4 dice.
It goes along with the stretch.
I used the words. Okay, what's the difficulty?
Does that change if you know he might be rich?
2.
2, okay. Okay.
Oh.
Once.
Do you have nudges?
Nudges.
I have 2 nudges.
Oh no.
Shame. So you start following them.
Mm-hmm.
However, you get to the point where you like feel that they're catching on to you, and you know that if you don't give up, okay.
Sorry, kid.
He's going to be fine.
Yeah.
If I get implicated in kidnapping, that's bad.
Okay, the other thing, why I was also thinking like the cops are doing a lot of resources to locating this kid, which also makes me think he's important.
Yes.
And then I'm like, does his dad work for the cops?
That's
like,
is
his dad like
chief of police or something?
Yeah. Constable General or
that's the one, yeah.
Oh boy.
It's fine. It'll be fine, guys.
Natasha, what did you do to us?
Delightful things. She's been planning this for ages. You can see it on her face.
Marelyn.
Yes.
So, Marelyn, you're given the contact information of a soothing parlor and you are told to ask for Kellen Way.
Helen Way. Okay, maybe I was the wrong person to send to this. I'm familiar with soothing parlors in the city. Does this seem like it's like a nicer part of town, like a fancy upscale place, or?
Yeah, it's the kind of part of town where nobles would go.
Okay. I think I'll like get dressed up in disguise to go there as like a noblewoman. I don't want to go there as Marelyn. That seems like a bad idea.
Okay. You arrive, and I'm gonna say that. Do we want to say that you like booked a private appointment? That seems like something that would happen in a high-scale soothing parlor.
Yeah.
So you booked a private appointment with Kellen Way, and you're led into a very nice, relaxing room. Something that, like, you're both familiar with, but not familiar with, right? Like, it's a lot higher scale than what you've ever worked as a soother, but it has a very similar, like, setup. And after, like, 5-ish minutes of waiting, Kellen Way comes in, and she's, like, a middle-aged woman. She actually is pregnant. And her, she's probably like 7 months pregnant, like definitely showing, but not like about to pop. And she has kind of like, beautiful brown hair. Definitely, like motherly sort of type, but beautiful. And she sits down, and she says, "So, how can I help you today?"
Just a quick question. So would Kellenway be a terrace name? Is that, or is that like...
Yes, it is a terrace name, but she is not a terrace woman. Like, she has terrace heritage, but she's not like...
Okay.
It sounds like someone combined the traditional "let's name our kid after Kelsier" and stuffed a terrace ending on it.
Okay. Kellenway, I've heard about your services. A friend recommended them to me.
Oh, yes. Not to sound bold or anything, but I do come highly recommended in the city.
Yes, well, I am actually here from out of town. The person who recommended you, he has not been in the city for a long time.
All right. And she's kind of like, it's not that she's picking up what you're laying down, but she's getting the feeling that you are here for more than what you say you're here for.
Yeah, I don't want to say too much because I feel like the ears probably have, or the walls have ears, but trying to like be subtle about it, get the vibe.
And she says, all right, what is it that I can help you with today? What are the concerns on your mind?
I've been stressed recently. A friend of mine, well, he's gotten mixed up with some with the wrong crowd. And I worry that it is an attempt to escape his current troubles and live in the past. And I want to help him before he goes down that road any further.
She kind of, rests a hand on her stomach and says, are you looking for advice or clarity?
Some of both.
And you feel her begin to soothe your confusion and also your nerves.
Mm-hmm. I'm sure I'm familiar with this feeling.
Oh yeah, it's not anything that you haven't experienced before, especially having worked in soothing parlors, and especially for people who have soothed on a slightly bigger scale. You've kind of walked through their influence, right? You do know what this is, and I'm sure you've been soothed before. It's not, but she does begin to soothe you, and you do feel kind of that anxiety and stress melt away, the worry melt away. You even feel, and I'm doing this more narratively. You can choose how to act on it because you are very aware that it is a soothing, right? It's not, it's not like you're unaware. Yeah. You do feel more relaxed. And so you're a little less paranoid about people listening.
Okay.
I feel like we should have got you the necklace before you went, so you could maybe flash it a little bit.
Okay, I'm thinking about how much would Marelyn, she's feeling more relaxed. How much would she say now?
And you would also know that this person that Darren sent you to, previously, at least when Darren was last around them, they were fighting the good fight, right? They were trying to take down, Adine and this Sliverus and, that whole thing.
I think at this point I might, still being a little bit vague, but I will specify the friend who recommended you, his name was Darren. Do you remember him?
And she smiles a little. And she says, yes, I remember Darren. It's been a while since I've seen him. I was in my late teens when he left.
He said you would be able to help my troubles.
Is there a chance that you're not looking for a soother, but rather a rioter?
Yes, I believe that may be the case.
In that case, perhaps it would be best if I made some recommendations for someone to talk to rather than myself. And she looks you over and says, "What did you say your name was?" Make me a spirits roll.
Okay.
3.
Can I add anything to this? I am average looking if it's about, like, recognizing me.
No, it's, Marelyn's gut instinct is gonna tell her to do something, and she's not gonna want to do it.
Okay. If it's... there was something I was kind of debating doing, but okay, so it's, what did you say that it was difficulty of 3?
Mm-hmm.
Spirits? Okay.
Hey.
Hit it exactly.
Your instinct tells you to trust her. Even outside of, and maybe it is just for soothing, but you feel like you would perhaps trust her regardless.
Okay.
And that's rare for Marelyn. I mean, let's be honest.
And this is an upscale place where you would say, like, nobles.
Mm-hmm.
Nobles would go to. Okay, so I'm gonna do something. I don't know how I do this. I'm going to say, around these parts, I go by Lady Cress, but you may call me Marelyn.
And she gets a small smile. She says, "Oh, yes. Marelyn Dramali, yes."
Have you heard of me before?
Yes. It's not many things evade me. I'll send you to my husband, and I'm sure he can be of help to you.
Thank you. Congratulations on the pregnancy. Is it your first child?
Oh, no, dear. Thank you, though. It's my 6th.
Well, this has been
woman?
What?
How old is this woman?
She is like...
She's younger than Luka's dad.
40-something?
30-something? Okay.
Yeah, 30, like late 30s, early 40s. Right? Because Luka's dad, if Luka's like...
Yeah, Luka's in his 20s, and like
so
his
Luka's dad would be like 55? Like,
yeah.
I mean, not 55, like 45 at the earliest? Like...
Yeah, somewhere like 50.
So
yeah,
like
I'd say like
45 to 55?
Around
So
50, yeah, early 50s.
She's like early 40s.
Me trying to suss out if this is someone's mother without metagaming.
Yeah, I'm just like, what if this is Ghost's mom?
That's where my brain went. But I think he said he had like 8 brothers and sisters, but like he could have been exaggerating. So you know.
Also,
He had a lot of kids.
What? What'd you say, Luka?
No, it just like she did say like, yeah, the ghost thing. I didn't think of that. But
all right. Well, thank you. This has been an informative meeting, and I look forward to meeting your husband as well.
Yes. And she leans over and she grabs a quill and, writes down, and she hands it to you, and she says, here you are.
I'm gonna look down at the name. Do I recognize it at all?
It is
Edgar Dramali.
yeah, wouldn't that be something?
By the way, your dad had a secret family this whole time.
I need a name for the lead constable.
Oh, we have that. That's a canon character, right?
I mean, there's multiple lead constables.
Oh, yeah, there's one for each auction, isn't there? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Wait, weren't you wondering if Ghost's dad is a police officer?
That's what we were
this could
thinking.
be
That,
Ghost's
yeah.
mother.
This could
be Ghost's mother.
Yeah.
I'm calling it.
I googled Mistborn nobility name generator and I got Hersen Ufen.
Maybe click the button again.
Okay, click the button again. Okay. Right, I got Testudo Rang. Don't think that one works.
I don't think this is a good generator.
How about Herschel Ulfen?
Perfect.
Herschel sounds like the name of a guy who would name his kid Chester.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If I show up and Ghost is like there, I don't know what I'll do.
You'll meet his actual older sister and like...
No. Though on the other hand, if this is Ghost's mother, she probably has known that Ghost has been with me the whole time. I don't know if that makes it better or worse.
Maybe. Natasha, you are an evil genius. I just want to say that. I love it. Don't ever change.
I want to make a meme of like, I don't know what the best meme format would be, but I want to make a meme of like, new character, whose mother is, wait, like, are you, whose mother is this or something? But
yeah.
So Marelyn, are you going to Herschel Ulfen's office? Look at Hallie. Look at Rosemary.
I'll like walk over to the area and scope out the activity level at least.
Okay, just so we can get this over and done with, as you are scoping out the activity level,
yes,
you see Ghost being led between two constables into the constable's office.
Okay. So this is Ghost's mother.
Yep.
Yep. And by the way, if it was 8 siblings, it's 8.
Right.
Yeah.
So.
However many we said back when.
Yep.
Well,
Oh dear. I hope for her sake she's got at least one pair of twins in there somewhere.
well, if she said this was her 8th pregnancy,
So it's her 9th then.
Yeah, it would be a nice.
well, like,
Unless he's counting the one that hasn't come out yet.
well, he's not counting himself, so that's
So it'd be a
1
10.
plus 6 is 7. So this would
You know
be
what?
his-
He just has a lot.
This is a lot.
Yeah, the math does work out.
Yeah.
I wish I had known this before leaving, so I could suss out if she knew that I technically kidnapped her son. Kind of.
I love the idea that the mom knew exactly what was going on, but the dad's in the dark.
I suppose Marelyn does not know that this is Ghost's father yet.
Because she doesn't know that the Connors have been looking for him.
So she might be worried that Ghost is in trouble. So she might go in to keep an eye on him discreetly. Yeah, I think Marelyn goes in.
All of this is so wonderful.
So Marelyn enters the constable's building, the patrol house, whatnot. And at this point, there is a very broad-shouldered, large man who we are at this point, we're just gonna call him Herschel.
Yep.
And he is staring down Chester and giving him like a talking to in the middle of the patrol house of, where have you been? We have been looking everywhere for you. Normally, you just go off for like a day and then, you come back and that is perfectly all right. But this is unacceptable. Evading us for a whole week and a half. And he is just like, chewing out Chester in front of everyone. And everyone has like, at this point, like, glued themselves to whatever else they have to be done, whatever paperwork they can possibly focus on. Every once in a while there's like the side eye of like like attention, but as soon as he raises his voice like another like booming mark, they go right back to their work. And
see, here's the thing.
Chester just looks bored.
Yeah. Here's the thing. This is a reasonable thing for him to be upset about. Marelyn doesn't have the healthiest relationship with father figures. She might not view this as being
together at this point.
I think she's probably put the pieces together. She might not view this as a reasonable of a talking to as it actually is.
At least either 10 or 12-year-old kid, depending on what mood Ghost is in at the time when you ask him, disappearing for a week and a half.
Reasonably upset.
I'm gonna like,
Ghost doesn't look too bothered.
Yeah. I'm at this point, I'm going to like tap the nearest like kind of sort of grunt worker and say like, excuse me, I'm looking for Herschel Olfen.
Right, and like I look at you, and then they look at the guy who's like standing there booming, and they say, you might want to come back in like 20 minutes.
Maybe give it 30.
How bad of an idea is it to try to soothe the head constable in the middle of the police station whose wife is a soother?
You want to soothe a man who has been canonically stated to be married to a soother?
How bad of an idea is this?
Terrible. They would definitely have bronze people in the constable house.
Yeah.
And this man knows what it feels like to be soothed. Yeah. I guarantee you.
And Marelyn has been in the business long enough to know this is a terrible.
Yeah.
That's why you should do it anyway.
I will.
Also, we have a title for this episode now. Meet the Parrot.
Nice twist.
I'll like leave, but I'll see if I can find like a cafe or store across the street that I can just like loiter at for like 10 to 20 or like 10 to 20 minutes, I guess.
Okay.
I don't want to go far.
So 20 minutes passes.
I'll attempt to go back into the police station.
Okay. At that point in time, you can see that Chester is now seated next to his father's desk, looking like, he has been, put in his place.
Yeah.
And his father is sitting there in like a bit of a like anime steam.
Bright red,
he's doing paperwork.
And now we understand so much more of Ghost psychology as to why he gives zero craps about getting into trouble.
Nothing we could do could compare to his.
And his father shouting at him is boring.
I have the sense he takes after his mother.
Yeah.
What was her line about, like, not much gets past me or something? I'll walk up to his desk and say,
And Ghost gives you like this glance of like, what are you doing here? Why are you here? What's happening?
I'll just give him like a slight like shake of my head, like very discreet.
He just goes back to being quiet.
Excuse me, are you Herschel Olfen?
Yes, ma'am, I am.
I just was sent here by your wife. She said she believes that you can help. Yeah.
At Ghost, when you say like your wife, Ghost's eyes go like really big.
I just realized what an absolute nightmare this probably is for him, us finding out who his parents are.
And then he just goes like this.
Like,
This the interested or the, oh, I'm so doomed?
This is the I'm so doomed. Like, I have just resigned myself now.
I'm looking for a rioter, and she told me that perhaps you could help.
Oh, well, yeah, I'll see what I can do. It's going to take me a little while to get around to that. I've had some unexpected issues come up today, as they do around here. But I will get to you with that information. Can I have a place of address to send this to?
Do I get the sense that he knows what I'm talking about? Like, this is... Like, he's not just gonna send me a random list of, like, here's suspicious rioters on our... Roll charm, you said?
Mm-hmm.
Can I add anything? I'm trying to see. I feel like...
Do you have information acquisition?
I don't.
Can I bestow it from afar?
I'm trying to see if any of my... I don't know that any of these would help. What's the difficulty?
The difficulty is 3.
Yep, that's a 3.
Yeah, so you know that he is definitely, like, he is playing it very cool. Like, for all other appearances, you think he is giving you the runaround. But you realize that you have said exactly what you need to say. Okay. And he will get you the information that you need.
Okay. I think at this point, like, I'm just gonna have to give him, like, my personal address, because I feel like she doesn't know the brass ladle was compromised, and
it's sort of been uncompromised now.
Yeah,
anyway.
But I think she doesn't really think of that. Like, Dervish isn't living there right now. The apartment's out of the question.
There's also
Hallie probably doesn't want her parents involved, so...
No, she doesn't, but that wouldn't necessarily stop Marelyn.
It's true. But I think Marelyn's just gonna give her, like, personal address for this. Or, yeah.
Okay.
Do they have like P.O. boxes in Elendel?
I'll say yes, and I'll say Marelyn definitely has one.
Yeah, okay, then
Yeah,
Marelyn would give
purpose.
her P.O. box, yes.
Okay. Also, he, because you've already kind of passed the challenge of understanding his code,
Yes.
or the code that's happening, when they talk. He says, also, just to be clear,
That's where he reveals he knows.
I would suggest staying away from any particular fires or fire starters.
Okay.
As that could potentially bring you more harm than good. We currently have people investigating the situation.
I will keep that in mind.
Does he know she's connected to Dervish?
Or is he
Maybe
implying
he's not
the university?
Like,
I think he is implying the university. The problem is that is our only lead on where to rescue Luka.
Yeah.
For Marelyn,
Oh.
for Marelyn, he is doing both.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
He is saying, one, I know my son hangs out with him. I get that. Please stop. If that's involved, I'm aware of that. I'm also aware of the fact that there is a big fire, or I'm aware of the fact that there are sliverous running around that building.
That was
Please don't go there while we're investigating that.
Because he doesn't know we have someone who's been kidnapped by them.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
So he knows that Ghost hangs out with Dervish and
Probably suspects we have something to do with Ghost disappearing for a week and a half. I mean, it probably felt like that.
He suspects that Dervish has something to do with it. He's not necessarily sure how Marelyn is connected in all of this, right?
Yeah.
But he knows enough that his son hangs out with Dervish. Dervish started the fire. There are sliverous in that building.
Yeah.
My kid has been disappeared for a week and a half. Like, there's a bunch of hints here. Please do not make my life harder. That's essentially what he said.
Yeah, I just don't know that we can reasonably accommodate that.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. GM Natasha knows this. Herschel is a constable and would not be doing his job if he didn't tell Marelyn to stop.
But they're clearly not investigating closely enough because they haven't found Luka. So,
I'm trying to think.
At this point, I don't know if it's good or bad that Hallie's not there, because Hallie would just I can't stand all this talking around things. Like, no, look, here's the deal.
Fortunately, you can only look after one of us at a time.
Yeah. I can only mitigate damage from one corner at a time. That fire could have been so much worse.
Yeah.
Thank you. And I just want you to know that it is my only goal in all of this is to ensure that no one is hurt or put in any danger that can be prevented. I'm going to kind of nod at him and turn to leave on that note.
And he just kind of nods as well.
Trying to, get across, my goal here is to make sure Chester does not get hurt without, like, explicitly.
He gets it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And for that matter, poor little Chester is probably grounded for the next 6 years.
Like, oh, that's saying that he wasn't grounded already. Like,
Yeah, I was just gonna say. I'm guessing he's
Like, that's
already
not gonna change him.
grounded.
Yeah.
No.
He's gonna get out if he wants to get out.
Except now Marelyn has allies that she can use when he gets into too much trouble.
You literally can't
Yeah.
call his mother.
Yes.
Yes. He's probably a lot more intimidated by his mom than his dad.
Yeah.
And by Marelyn
Smart.
now, by association.
Yes. Okay. And I guess I'll leave in. It'll take a few hours for that information to get to the PO box. So
yeah.
Shall we meet up? The all of us?
Before that happens, like once like Royce like loses Ghost, like he will stash his like big metal mines in a circular location before meeting up with everyone.
Okay. So I'm gonna say you all meet back up at the brass ladle. Yes?
Mhm.
No? Somewhere else?
Somewhere else? Because we left there. I left because it was awkward.
Yeah, I feel like we would have picked a secondary location.
Yeah.
Like it probably like some pub where like we can like get a booth.
Yeah.
At this point, I think Hallie is starting to feel mildly guilty that she hasn't checked in with her parents, but not enough so that she's actually going to go do it yet.
Cool. Also, Dervish is grinning like an idiot, but he's completely unaware that he's doing that.
Every once in a while, Hallie will like elbow in his ribs, like, wipe that stupid grin off your face.
What?
So you
Only ruining your resting Kolos face.
yeah, that might have to change, right? So you all come back together at one of the local pubs. And it's getting late in the afternoon now, almost towards like evening. And I'm actually going to skip over to Luka for a moment here.
Yeah.
And Luka, you have been, brought upstairs, and, you're sitting in one of the refurnished but not refurbished offices. It is clearly, burnt, but it was in one of the back corners of the place. And Tamuth excuses himself, and Rafe sits down, and Rafe points to your leg and he says, "Let me check that."
Oh, fine, sure. He holds out his leg.
And
Do
he
I have
begins-
you to thank for the bandages? It was in a bit worse of shape when I saw it last.
He just begins unraveling the bandage. And he says, "I don't know who did this." And he just kind of, throws the bandage away and like begins checking the stitching and then rebandages it.
Well, you could ask your brother and his fiance, girlfriend, accomplice.
Well, that was the bullet hole.
Mm-hmm.
That's different. Is that what we're talking about?
Yeah, well, I'm assuming they brought me here based on what I last remember happening.
Yes, well, Mira's been taking certain things into her own hands lately.
She's quite charming, isn't she?
Well, she has her own ideals.
Rust and ruin, Rafe. What are you involved in? This is so crazy. I can't even... Like, people are going missing. You realize that, right? People are going missing. People are being, I don't know, some weird experiments. Something's going on in the morgue. It's all very confusing to me. But I can't believe you're involved in all this.
I would very much like you to not be involved in this.
Well, sorry. What you think about what I'm doing doesn't matter. And I am involved, but I am on the right side of this, and you are on the wrong side.
Am I?
Well, if you're not, what side are you on? Explain to me.
And he just looks up at you and he, just sighs and shakes his head. And he's like, Luka, things are far more complicated than you can handle.
Right, because I can't handle things. You know, I'm an idiot, I'm stupid, I'm dumb, and this is all too much for me. Right, yeah. And you've decided this in your mind because you're an expert on me and the things I'm capable of and the things I can do. Let me tell you something, Rafe. I have done things that you have no idea about. You think you know everything in your little webs of whatever, but I might have just killed a man out in the rafts, huh? Did you know about that? And I feel quite bad about it, actually, and I'm actually hoping he's okay. But the point is, I have experienced a lot of things, and, you know, I've proven myself quite resourceful when I need to, and I've gotten out of a number of scrapes, and I'm going to get out of this one, and then I'm going to sort all this out, and it's not going to be pretty for, you know, your friends who are all involved in this.
And Rafe just kind of lets that hang there for a while. And then he says, yes, we are all involved in this. And a few years ago, you were a very different person.
Well,
Would
this
you
isn't a few
have
years ago. This is now.
So why? So what's your plan?
Nice try. You're not playing these games with me, okay? My plan is my business. You're the one who's trying to convince me that you are not a total scumbag, which, based on your behavior and the stuff you're involved in, I have no reason not to believe that you're just a pile of ash goop.
Go off,
face.
Luka.
Call him a Condra face.
I need to talk to you.
Oh, no, that's just making this future conversation even better.
Oh, it is. Yeah.
All right. I suppose that's valid. I was more asking whether or not you plan to stay in Elendel if you get out of this, or if you plan to go back to your family. And if you plan to go back to your family, which part of your family you plan to go back to?
Well, I guess that, depends. Because what information do I have about my family? Is there anything you would like to counsel me on, since you're so learned and informed in this matter, that I should take into account in making my decision about where to go next?
Like that maybe perhaps you would be best to return to your parents and resume your life as a nickel?
Because that would be so convenient for you, wouldn't it? If I just disappeared and walked away and wasn't around.
Yes,
Great.
More convenient than dealing with you here with a bullet hole in your leg.
Well, I didn't ask for you to deal with me at all. So if you don't want to deal with me, just let me walk out the door and I'll go and I will take care of myself. And, come what may, I'll leave it to you to get your butt covered and extricate yourself from whatever craziness is going on before it all comes crashing down on you people.
Luka, I'm going to have you make a decision. And obviously, you're upset at me and you have all the right to be upset at me, and I've given you nothing but the right to be upset at me. So please go ahead and be upset at me, but at least make this decision with a clear head. I can either get you out of here safely and make sure that you stay alive, or you can continue down the path that you've started, which seems to be running headlong into danger that you know very little about.
And why should I trust you to tell me what's safe for me? What reason do I possibly have to think that going with you or doing what you want me to do would make me more safe than if I'm left to my own very resourceful devices? I mean, you made it abundantly clear in the past that you are don't care, right? And I'm just, a dumb idiot who's caught up on all this and is making things messy for you, because, there is a conscience in there somewhere, I presume. And so you feel bad, but...
Luka, do you want to get out of here alive?
Is my life in danger?
This is the man who's already been shot once.
He has to ask.
Roll me a charm.
Okay.
And you may add a die because of your tragedy.
Ooh, okay. So that's 6 dice. What am I trying to beat?
A 4.
Hey.
4.
4.
He leans in and he says, Mirabelle is trying to take your mother, is trying to take your grandmother out of this equation. Okay? She will try her faith this evening. If you are here, it's very likely that you will die. Or something terrible will happen to you. And I am not... If you want to act like you know everything and want to run headfirst into the situation, that's fine.
Well, I mean, if you can run
that.
headfirst into the situation, how hard can it be? Like, this is what it's about, Rafe. You hold yourself on this high hill and you just view me way down here. And so you can say, oh, I can handle all this crazy nonsense that I'm involved in and I can do it alone. And then it's a double standard.
It's not a double standard. It's the truth of the matter. I'm standing here on this side of things while you're sitting there captive with a bullet hole in your leg.
Mm-hmm.
And if you had just stayed out of everything, you wouldn't be sitting there captive with a bullet hole in your leg.
Right. So if I had gone along with the kidnappings and just turned a blind eye and just said, you know what?
No, if you had just, continued being a socialite and stayed out of everything. Just lived your life.
I'm going to leave, okay? I don't want to have this conversation anymore.
No, you
just
sit down.
Leave.
We're having this conversation. You're not free to leave. I can't let you leave. That's not one of the choices here.
Okay.
Wasn't it?
No.
No.
Fine. You're the boss.
And Rafe just looks eternally pissed off in like the most like mellow way possible.
Yeah.
I was expecting him to storm out. I'm like,
oh no, we're getting there.
Okay,
and
okay.
Rafe says, you can't leave, but I can. And he turns, walks out, and slams the door behind him. Well,
Luka's kind of like that. Well, am I in a room with a window?
no.
No. Okay.
It's like one of those interior corner offices where it's like, totally enclosed. There's one door.
If I hobble over to the door, I'm assuming it's locked.
Yes.
Luka's just gonna shout through the door, really mature.
And there's like a slam on the door.
Do I get the sense he's like waiting outside the door, or that he's like walked away?
For right now, you get the sense that he's still there.
Okay. Listen, if you're still there, you don't have to do whatever they're telling you, okay? We can leave together. We can go to the authorities, go to allies, do whatever, but we can stop this. And you're the one who's standing in the way and letting this continue. So, and if I'm missing something and I can help, because I think there is a good person beneath all that you present.
Scoop.
Then let me know how I can help. But otherwise, I'll just, sit in here and be annoying because I'm good at that.
The man knows his
Roll
strengths.
me a charm +1 or a +1 die. And this is a challenge of 2. All right,
Or
then.
2 nudges.
Those
That
are
is a
5s and 2
5s and
nudges.
2 nudges.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a long pause. And then the door opens. And
Luka
he's standing there.
Luka falls forward because I imagine he was slightly leaning on the door.
And Rafe just kind of looks at you and we have about 3 minutes until Tamuth returns. That is not enough time to get out of here. And I have no intention of running. And he closes the door behind him and says, "If you want to help, I will let you help. But after this point, there's no turning back. Take it from someone who knows."
Well, tell me what's happening. Let's go.
And that's where we'll end the episode.
Oh, this is delightful.
Oh, it's wonderful.
Oh, man.
Oh, these. God.
We
Why
ought to
does
be able to
tomorrow
get
have to be
through everything tomorrow, though.
Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
when we stormed the university with our well, it's gonna be great.
Because I'm not going to have Rafe do that whole debrief on screen. We're going to cut to the storming and what is happening and what's
Then we
happening
can
to
just say-
Luka.
Yeah.
Because Luka's... We'll leave it up to, at this point, it's the question of is Luka committing or not, but I'm assuming he's committing.
Yeah, he's gonna try to get this. He's not gonna run away. The question is whether, how much he tells Rafe.
Oh, and that's fine.
Yeah,
But Rafe is gonna...
be Rafe.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I wonder what if Rafe is going to mention Royce at all. Royce was supposed to keep you out of this.
Oh man. Okay, so I guess this was not the final episode, guys.
Oh.
We will within something slightly different. Normally we have 2 weeks between an episode, but this time you guys will only have to wait 1 week between episodes. This should be coming out on the 7th, and the next one should be coming out on the 14th, the day before Lost Middle comes out. And so we'll thank you guys for watching. Don't forget about this week's giveaway. Don't forget that you can buy all the Mistborn Adventure Game things at mistborngames.com. If you use the offer code 17MBDICE when you spend more than $20, you get a free set of dice. Thank you. There you go. There's those dice. Thank you to Natasha for running this game. This was so good.
Yes.
You can also find the rest of us at sympathyshard.com for your news, theories, discussion, and fun. You can find us on Discord, Facebook, Twitter, SoundCloud, YouTube, and if you like our stuff, you can support us on Patreon, where you can see the session 0 for this game. Stay tuned for the last episode next time, and keep those dice rolling. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.